And a lot's actually happening for you today. You actually came out with a new campaign that debunks some commonly held myths about marketing. And this sort of is coupled with the announcement of the Adobe Marketing Cloud. So let's talk a little bit about those two new developments and sort of how both of them, further the evolution of Adobe, if you will, both in terms of its offerings. And now this is a company known for Photoshop and Illustrator, historically, but also in terms of its brand message. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Adobe is definitely known as the Photoshop company, the Acrobat company, and those are all good things. We want to retain kind of the creative part of the brand, but we want to break into a new space as well, and that's into the digital marketing space, and the two are very interrelated. So from a brand perspective, it's an interesting challenge. When people know you for things and you have a good reputation in those areas, it's kind of hard to get people into a new space. And so today we just launched a new campaign talking about marketing and our position there. We offer kind of marketing solutions for optimization of your website, for testing and targeting different types of creative on your website, for managing your website and the content on that. And so those are very, very connected to the actual creative process. So this new area is called the Adobe Marketing Cloud, and the creative area is now the Creative Cloud. Those two are coming together, actually. And so we thought it was a perfect opportunity to break a new campaign.
Got it. Now the campaign itself is very irreverent and sort of a real departure from what Adobe is known for as a brand. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, the campaign is definitely not anything you've seen from Adobe before. Mm-hmm. It is very irreverent, it's very bold. We're a really nice software company. We have never done anything out of school. But this space has become extremely creative, the digital marketing space, and so we think it's time to really come out and make a lot of noise because we're the leader in this category. We have the greatest number of solutions, we have the greatest number of customers. We just are not well known. And so again, trying to move people from this thought of Adobe as the creative company into Adobe as the marketing company, we think we need to jolt the market into seeing us in that space. So we're taking a really bold approach in our campaign.
To what extent is there really an educational component that's necessary in the campaign? I mean, you're competing with Google and IBM and Salesforce in this space now. So how much of this campaign incorporates sort of a real education for customers and potential customers?
So step one is to create awareness for Adobe in the digital marketing space. Mm-hmm. And step two is to give people a lot of detail about what the offerings are. So we have an analytics offering, web analytics, totally important to all marketers. We have a social offering, very important, a media optimization offering, a experience management or how to manage your content, and a targeting option. All of these are kind of the key concerns for every marketer and every CMO, mm-hmm. and we'll be offering all of those, and there'll be a tremendous amount of detail available on our website, which we've completely revamped, all new content on that today. There'll be webinars, there'll be all kinds of kind of detailed case studies on how people are using this technology. So first you got to create the awareness, mm-hmm. and then you've got to educate people about what the offering is. But in terms of competition, I think we have, pretty much all of the solutions, all the customers. We have a much more comprehensive offering than anybody else.
And the end goal, of course, is to prove with your products and your offerings that marketing does work, it is measurable, and that for people who say that marketing is BS, you're saying that's baloney in your new campaign. Let's talk also a little bit about all this research that you do. You do a lot of studies, you do a lot of surveys. Out today, in fact, is a survey that shows, it's a survey of consumers that shows that they feel that online advertising is ineffective. And also, as part of that same survey, you asked consumers to rank marketers vis-a-vis other professions as far as likability and value, and marketers ranked lower than politicians. I have two questions for you. The first is sort of, everybody talks about content strategy for marketers, being a thought leader. Is this Adobe's approach to being a thought leader, doing these surveys and sort of really nailing the issues that are relevant in marketing today?
Yeah, I mean, our sense, our hunch was that people really don't think of marketers as, very well-esteemed people. And as a marketer, as a lifelong marketer, I've often felt that. And I think the reason people feel that way about marketers is they haven't been able to deliver the goods in terms of validation on the effectiveness of impact and of the creative that we do. And so I think we wanted to go out there and see whether that was actually how people felt. So we actually talked to consumers and marketers, and the feedback was pretty disturbing. One, people don't value marketers. I think the only people that we beat out were dancers in terms of importance, but well below scientists, teachers, etc. The other thing that we found is that online marketing, which is super important to Adobe and super important to every marketer right now, is not doing a good job.
Okay.
People find it disturbing and annoying. It's not well targeted, so relevant messages aren't making their way to the consumer. And that's something that we can fix now. We have the tools to be able to actually create a great experience. The more we know about the customer, the better we can customize and personalize the content and the messages that we actually serve up to them. And that will help the reputation of marketing, because marketing will now be able to actually validate the impact and tie it to the bottom line. And that's what's going to make marketers have a better reputation.
And in doing this research, though, for Adobe, that's a content strategy right there, right? Correct? You're establishing yourself as sort of a thought leader in this issue of, is marketing relevant? Is it effective? So is that part and parcel of your brand strategy?
Absolutely. So thought leadership in the marketing space is very important to us, just like it is in the creative space. And so we did this survey to really find out the attitudes that people have about marketing.
For your own use.
But also to be able to kind of get the industry fueled up to try and do something about it. I think that's probably the most important part of the research. Thought leadership, I think, is great. But really what we're trying to do is work with the industry, whether it's trade associations like the ANA or the IAB, and other kind of marketers, senior marketers, to kind of galvanize and make this a little bit of a movement. We need to do something. All those eyeballs are going to the web, and we're not doing a good job of satisfying the needs of the people who are on the web right now. We got to do something.
How would you characterize Adobe's brand challenge?
I think our brand challenge is to really kind of expand the perception of the company from the creative kind of powerhouse that it is to a media kind of enabling company and a marketing enabling company.
Oh, measuring ROI on social media is a myth.
Yep, that's it.
Maybe you can measure ROI on social media. I think you can measure ROI on social media. You can definitely measure ROI on social media.
Huh.
I might call the cops.
Phil.
I mean, there's no other company that can give you the ability to create the content, manage and measure the impact of that content, and then ultimately monetize that content, actually serve up advertising in a relevant experience for the customer. So I think we have a big opportunity to really reposition the company as kind of soup to nuts, the company that helps you do media and marketing.
You spent 21 years at Intel before you joined Adobe. Can you quickly summarize the changes that you feel have taken place for tech marketers in that time and the challenges that specifically tech marketers face today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great time to be in marketing and in technology marketing in particular. I did start out very early in technology marketing, and it was rough. We especially at Intel, we were not a well-known company, and we created, a legendary brand. So I think a lot of the things that I learned there, I think we're now employing as an entire industry because technology has become so important and so pervasive. I think the personalization and the the warmth of technology, I think, has come through a lot more. It used to be a very kind of hard driving type of marketing, and now I think because everybody is using technology constantly in their lives, there's an intimacy now and a warmth, I think, in the marketing that has come through, which I could only have imagined back then. So I think it's great, and I think the tools that we use as well have made marketing much more tangible. And so I feel like, you know, the types of creative you see from marketing companies right now is much more relevant and consumerish than it certainly was.
Such as your campaign out today.
Hopefully.